There are a few key mistakes people make when they're trying to stop thinking about something. So let me walk you through 5 reasons you can't stop thinking about it no matter how hard you try, and 5 actions that you can do instead of pushing it away. Hi there, my name is Ashley. I'm a mental health expert and I help Christians overcome anxiety using Christ centered neuroscience without the typical just pray more advice. You know that one thought that just won't leave you alone? Yeah. The one that pops up in your mind when you're trying to relax, or right before you go to bed, or randomly in the middle of your day. The one that drives you crazy and causes you to say, I wish I could turn my mind off. In those moments, your mind might seem like it's working against you, but many times you're actually working against yourself. Here's how: you're trying to force or push away the thought. Now, this doesn't work because at its core, your brain is wired for survival and will keep trying to come back to this thought if it is flagged as important or even dangerous. So while you're trying to ignore it, you indirectly motivate your brain to bring it to your attention even more until you actually notice it. And if you're not doing that, you're likely giving the thought too much attention. By doing this, you accidentally train your brain to keep repeating the thought because every time the thought pops up, you analyze, you worry about it, you're trying to figure out why, which only sends your brain the message: this must be really important, so I'll be sure to bring it up again. And then it turns into this loop where you think, you stress, you focus on it more, it gets louder, it repeats. If you feed the thought, it will grow and last longer. The next one is not something we do, but it happens when you don't interrupt these loops. Your brain can think it's helping you by convincing you that analyzing, predicting, and preparing will prevent something bad from happening. So thinking starts to feel like protection. It'll say, if we go over this enough times, we'll be ready. Or if we analyze every angle, nothing bad will happen. This simply creates an illusion of control. And instead of addressing or solving the problem, it often turns into replaying it and focusing on your fears, thereby increasing your anxiety and inaction. The next reason you're not able to stop thinking about something is your brain strongly dislikes unfinished business. The brain does not like loose ends and naturally keeps returning to things that feel uncertain or unfinished, almost like a mental notification that you can't swipe away. So your brain panics and keeps going back to it like, what's going to happen? Did we figure it out yet? Are we good? This is where the what if anxiety kicks in and a loop is created. The problem is that sometimes there is no clear answer to your question, and that's what keeps the loop going. The other thing, too, is that the anxiety loop creates more unfinished business, which then creates more anxiety. Yeah, I know that sucks. The last reason you can't stop thinking about something is that you have invented a new reason for your anxiety. Mind you, I am not talking about the original reason for your anxiety. While we are trying to deal with that original reason, we unintentionally invent a new reason on top of that because we don't have an answer about feeling anxious. If you don't have an answer, you will create one. That's where it gets you stuck into loops like, did I say something wrong? What if something goes wrong tomorrow? What if this feeling means something is wrong? Now you're not even anxious about the original thought anymore. You're anxious about something completely different. By the end of this, you will be anxious about the fact that you can't stop thinking or that you can't prove that you're safe, which is only going to worsen your anxiety. Now it's solution time. Disclaimer: none of these solutions are to turn your mind off. If you turn your mind off, you are not living. So we don't want to do that. And you have probably found that solutions like sleeping it off only works temporarily because as soon as you wake up, your brain will pick up where it left off. So, what are 5 actions you can do instead? Number one, notice the thought with no judgment. Instead of saying, oh no, why am I thinking this? Just acknowledge that it is there and don't argue with the thought. A lot of people try to prove their thoughts wrong. Instead, try to say out loud things like, that may or may not be true. I'm not doing this right now. I'll let that remain unclear. It feels weird at first, but it works. Number two, allow it to be there. Stop trying to force it, fix it, avoid it, or change it. Stop. Instead, let it flow through your mind. You don't need to actually do anything. When you allow it to be there, it will naturally flow through your mind, kind of like a downstream river. Do this even if it comes back, it will pass again. But once you start to engage with it, remember the intention makes it grow. So if you just allow it to be there and don't do anything with it, there's going to be a time where that thought is not in your mind. And then eventually your brain will get the message, hey, we're not giving much attention to this, so it must not be important. Let's no longer think about this. And then it'll be gone. 3, stop hyping it up. Don't feed it a lot of attention or panic when it shows up. Every thought does not need to be treated like an emergency. It will pass, just like the other thousands of thoughts you have in one day. Number 4, give your brain something else to focus on. Your brain does not like empty space. So don't just try to stop thinking. It's not going to work. Redirect with a healthy distraction: music, walking, exercise, physical tasks, or talking to someone. And remember, you're not doing this to fix the anxiety. You're just doing this to buy yourself enough time to get out of the head loop. Number 5, this is the biggest one. Stay present. This is not the time to go back in the past. This is not the time to go forward in the future. If you are having a hard time staying present, actually list out loud what is happening right now. And then you're going to list what you know for certain. This will greatly help with reducing anxiety and thoughts. And those can be satisfactory enough for the brain to keep moving on, although you don't have the answers to everything. All right, we covered quite a bit in this video. I would love to hear in the comments section how this resonated with you and what you really enjoyed or took away from this video. I really appreciate when I get feedback, so go ahead and drop that in the comments section. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm so glad you tuned in today, friend. Now it's your turn to take what we talked about today and put it into action. You're ready. You can absolutely do this. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos.